Have you ever noticed how silence can feel heavier than words? When you're not around, she doesn't just miss you, she feels it in her bones. That subtle emptiness she hides behind a smile, the way her mind drifts to moments you shared. It's real, even if she won't admit it. And right now, I want you to pause, because what I'm about to tell you will change the way you see her silence, her distance, even her little "I'm fine" texts. Before we dive deeper, hit that like button and subscribe, because understanding this isn't just about relationships, it's about mastering human psychology. You need to know that absence doesn't just create longing, it stirs a storm of contradictions inside her. She'll feel warmth when she remembers your laugh, your presence, your energy, but that warmth is tangled with frustration, confusion, even guilt. Why? Because admitting she misses you fully would make her vulnerable. And women, as much as they want connection, are wired to protect their hearts. So instead, she internalizes that feeling, wrapping it in subtle behaviors you might never consciously notice. Her mind will replay conversations, your smiles, even the way you looked at her that one night, and she might pretend she doesn't notice you're gone, but there's a part of her that's constantly checking. Your texts, your habits, anything that keeps a thread to you alive. She's processing, analyzing, and yes, even rehearsing what she'll say when you're back. That constant mental loop. It's exhausting, and it's why she can seem irritable or distracted. And here's the subtle truth most men completely miss. Absence can make her question her own feelings. She might wonder if she's overthinking, if she should pull away to protect herself, or if she should let her emotions surface. Every choice feels like a battle between vulnerability and control. And while she might act indifferent, inside, she's running through scenarios, hoping, sometimes desperately, that you notice her absence too. So pay attention. The quiet, the small gestures, the fleeting glances, they're signals. If you learn to read them, to recognize how absence shapes her internal world, you'll not just understand her, you'll see the hidden depth of her feelings, the part she never says aloud. Most men never notice this. They mistake her silence for disinterest. But the truth? She's thinking about you in ways she can't say, and even when you're gone, you're never really out of her mind. When you're not there, she feels time differently. Minutes stretch into hours, hours into days, and every empty moment reminds her that someone important, someone she's wired to notice, is missing. She might tell herself she's busy, she has plans, or she's focused on other things, but inside, the world feels a little duller. And here's the part most men never grasp. It isn't about dramatic gestures or longing posts. It's subtle, it's quiet, almost invisible, yet it's there, pulsing beneath the surface. You see, absence awakens a layer of her feelings she usually hides. She'll think about the little things, the sound of your voice, the way you tilt your head when you're curious, even the way your presence made the room feel safer. She'll catch herself smiling for no reason, only to feel a pang of guilt or confusion. Why? Because vulnerability scares her. Admitting she misses you fully is admitting she's emotionally invested, and she's protective of that part of herself. That protection often comes across as distance, irritation, or even aloofness. But it's really her way of managing emotions she doesn't want to lose control over. And her mind doesn't just wander. It strategizes. She'll replay conversations in her head, analyze your words, your tone, your silences. Did you notice her absence? Did you think about her? Every memory becomes a subtle test, a measure of connection she can't articulate. It's exhausting emotionally, but she doesn't show it. She masks longing with humor, with independence, with slight deflection, tiny shields to protect the intensity of what she feels. Here's what most men completely misunderstand. She's not playing games. Every subtle gesture, every "I'm fine" message, every moment of quiet attention is a signal of internal conflict. She's torn between expressing feelings and keeping them guarded, and often that tension manifests as unpredictability, sometimes warm, sometimes distant, sometimes teasing, sometimes quiet. None of it is random. Every reaction is tied to how deeply she feels your absence. So if you notice her pull back, her moods shifting, or her seeming preoccupation, it's not disinterest. It's her way of handling something powerful that she can't show openly. Absence doesn't erase attachment. It amplifies it, sometimes painfully. And if you understand that, if you see through the subtle patterns, you'll begin to realize that what seems like distance is often her way of holding on without letting go, of protecting feelings that are stronger than she can admit aloud. What happens when a woman feels your absence is rarely obvious. She doesn't always call, text, or complain. Instead, her emotions leak through small, almost invisible behaviors that only someone paying close attention would notice. She might laugh a little too loudly at a joke you'd usually make. Or she might linger on old photos, scrolling past them again and again, not for nostalgia, but because your presence is missing from her present. That's the paradox. She's near you in memory, yet far away in reality. And there's something you need to understand about her mind. Women often experience absence in layers. There's the surface layer, the one she allows you to see, busy, composed, seemingly unaffected. Then there's the inner layer, the storm you'll never witness directly. Thoughts of you hitting her at the most random times, her imagination filling in moments she craves to share. That inner layer is where her longing thrives, quietly shaping her mood, her decisions, and even the way she interacts with others. You'll notice subtle signs if you look. Maybe she texts you about trivial things, small updates, little questions, things that keep a thread of connection alive without admitting she misses you. Perhaps she mirrors your habits unconsciously, ordering the food you like, using your phrases, or making references that only make sense if she's thinking of you. These behaviors aren't accidental. They are her way of coping with absence without exposing vulnerability. And here's a crucial truth. Absence can intensify her awareness of your value. When you're not around, she evaluates what you bring to her life, not just in terms of romance, but in emotional stability, comfort, and mental engagement. Every memory of your attention becomes amplified. Every small interaction you had suddenly seems monumental. She's replaying scenarios, imagining reunions, and often catching herself wishing she'd expressed feelings sooner. But this awareness doesn't always translate into action. She might hesitate, resist, or even push you away slightly, not because she's indifferent, but because vulnerability is scary. Missing someone deeply triggers a protective reflex. And that tension, the pull of longing against the fear of being too exposed, is what shapes the subtle behaviors you'll notice if you pay attention. So the next time she seems distracted, distant, or unexpectedly nostalgic, don't mistake it for disinterest. It's the hidden fingerprint of absence on her heart. It's her mind and body processing emotions she can't voice. And if you understand these signals, you'll begin to see a pattern that most men never recognize, a pattern that reveals the truth of her feelings in every quiet, almost imperceptible gesture. When you're gone, she doesn't just feel your absence. Her body reacts to it before her mind fully even admits it. There's a subtle shift in her energy that most men overlook entirely. She might fidget more, tap her fingers unconsciously, or stare at her phone without reason. These aren't random habits. They're micro signals of emotional tension. Her subconscious is holding space for you, processing the gap your absence leaves, and her behavior quietly broadcasts it even when her words deny it. Her thoughts become cyclical, looping between curiosity, longing, and worry. Did you notice her? Does she matter in your life as much as she feels you matter in hers? That loop creates an invisible weight she carries, and it often shows in the tiniest ways. She remembers details from your past conversations and drops them subtly, testing if you recall. She gauges whether the connection still exists without ever admitting she's longing for confirmation. You may also notice that she's suddenly more attuned to her environment in ways connected to you. A song might trigger a memory of your laugh, a scent might pull her back to your presence. Her brain is scanning for triggers of your existence in her world, even as she maintains a calm exterior. This is why she can seem both distant and nostalgic simultaneously. It's a tension between hiding her feelings and feeling them intensely. And here's a truth many men miss. Absence can make her act in ways that seem contradictory. She might be flirtatious one moment, indifferent the next. She may smile when talking about someone else, but linger in thought about you. This isn't confusion. It's the emotional complexity of longing mixed with protective instincts. She doesn't want to appear weak or desperate, so she balances her desire to reach out with the instinct to guard herself. Every small movement, every glance, every pause carries meaning if you're willing to interpret it. Most importantly, absence magnifies her emotional awareness. She notices how much space you occupy in her life because she can no longer take it for granted. That quiet longing, the internal calculation of what if he notices I miss him, drives behavior she can't verbalize. If you're observant, you'll see it in her little gestures, the way she reaches for connection without fully admitting she needs it. Understanding this is a game changer. It separates men who perceive her feelings from those who remain oblivious. She is rarely silent emotionally, even if her lips are. Every unspoken thought, every subtle reaction, every fleeting hesitation is a thread linking her to you, a secret map of her heart she believes only she can read. Even when she acts composed, her absence-driven emotions seep into the smallest interactions. She may laugh at things that aren't funny, linger longer in conversation, or subtly reference memories only the two of you share. These are not coincidences. They are her unconscious attempts to keep a connection alive, to signal that she notices your absence without fully exposing the depth of her feelings. Most men completely miss these cues, dismissing them as casual behavior, but that is exactly what she's counting on. Her focus sharpens in ways that seem invisible. She will notice the little details about you that others would forget. A shirt you like, a phrase you use, the way your mood shifts in certain situations. And in your absence, these memories replay vividly, sometimes causing a bittersweet ache. She doesn't share this ache openly because doing so is risky. Vulnerability, especially in the realm of emotions, is a battlefield. She's constantly evaluating what she can reveal and what she must conceal to protect herself from disappointment or rejection. And while you might think distance dulls emotions, the opposite is true for her. Absence amplifies longing, turning small recollections into intense emotional experiences. That quiet attention she gives to the world around her, subtle glances, gentle smiles, moments of hesitation. These are reflections of her mind cycling back to you. It's a pattern. She's both processing and rehearsing, managing an internal dialogue about how to act when you return, how to express what she feels without losing composure. The truth you need to internalize is this: absence does not erase presence. In fact, it sharpens it. Her mind is continually occupied with evaluating your value, your connection, and your impact on her life. She may push, pull, or test boundaries, not to manipulate, but to gauge how much your absence matters to you as well. She's sensitive to every reaction, every sign of attention, because the stakes feel high when someone meaningful is missing. And here's what most men never see. Even the moments when she seems completely disengaged, her emotions are active. She's silently measuring, remembering, and longing. Those subtle behaviors, the quiet adjustments in tone, posture, or attention, are her way of keeping a thread to you alive. If you learn to recognize and interpret them, you'll understand her emotional world in a way that most men never can. A world that is always more intense, more thoughtful, and more vulnerable than her exterior suggests. Absence doesn't just make her notice you, it makes her evaluate you, consciously and unconsciously. She's constantly asking herself questions she won't voice. Does he care as much as I do? Am I missing him more than he misses me? Every memory, every shared laugh, every fleeting moment is replayed, analyzed, and measured against her longing. And even though she won't admit it, her behaviors reveal it in subtle, almost invisible ways. You might notice her initiating conversation with small, seemingly casual messages. Maybe she asks a question that seems trivial, or she comments on something you shared days ago. To the untrained eye, it's nothing, but these are her attempts to maintain a connection without exposing vulnerability. She's testing, probing, and feeling out whether the bond is still strong. Every minor interaction carries weight, and every delayed response from you triggers a ripple of anxiety, reflection, and longing. Her attention to detail becomes uncanny. She notices changes in your routine, the way you express yourself, even what you don't say. Absence sharpens her emotional radar, making her hyper-aware of patterns and subtle cues. She might even unconsciously mimic your habits, adopting phrases, gestures, or interests she associates with you. These behaviors aren't random. They are her mind's way of holding onto the connection, keeping a thread alive when physical presence isn't possible. And here's the part most men completely miss. The tension inside her is constant. She oscillates between wanting to reach out and holding back, between protecting herself and expressing longing. That tension manifests in micro-behaviors, lingering glances, playful teasing, sudden quietness, or nostalgic references. Each is a coded signal, a map of feelings she can't say aloud. Understanding these signals is like reading between the lines of her soul. It reveals the truth of her attachment, her desire, and her hidden vulnerability. Most men mistake her restraint for indifference, her playfulness for casual interest, or her silence for distance. But the reality is far more profound. Absence magnifies her emotions, and those amplified feelings leak through her actions in ways you might never consciously recognize. If you pay attention, you'll start noticing a rhythm, a subtle dance of longing, caution, and emotional truth. That rhythm tells you everything you need to know about how deeply she feels your absence, and why every small gesture, no matter how seemingly minor, carries weight beyond words. Here's the ultimate truth most men never realize. When you're absent, she's not just missing you, she's navigating a private storm of emotions, memories, and longing that most people will never see. Every glance, every hesitation, every small effort to reach out without fully revealing her heart is part of a silent strategy to manage feelings she doesn't fully trust herself to expose. She's balancing desire and fear, connection and protection, intensity and restraint, all at once. Her mind is relentless in your absence. She revisits moments you shared, imagining conversations she wishes she had, replaying your laughter, your energy, the smallest quirks that made your presence feel irreplaceable. And every time she does, she's measuring what she felt, what she wants, and how much space you occupy in her life, even when you're not physically there. That measurement doesn't stop. It shapes her moods, her choices, even her subtle gestures toward you. She's constantly testing reality against memory, longing against control, hope against self-preservation. But here's where it becomes truly fascinating. Her absence-driven behaviors are gifts, if you know how to read them. The playful teasing when she texts first, the nostalgic reference to a shared joke, the subtle mirroring of your mannerisms. These are not random. They are emotional breadcrumbs, clues she leaves for you to understand the depth of her attachment without ever saying it outright. Most men overlook them entirely, assuming disinterest where there is devotion, or misreading caution for indifference. And make no mistake, this intensity is exhausting for her. Maintaining composure while her mind is consumed with thoughts of you requires energy, discipline, and emotional resilience. She'll appear calm, even indifferent, but inside she's balancing a tide of emotion that ebbs and flows with your presence, or lack of it. That's why absence is so revealing. It doesn't hide truth. It amplifies it. The quieter she seems, the louder her heart often beats with unspoken longing. So pay attention to the small details, the fleeting gestures, the moments that feel like coincidence. They are not coincidences. They are the evidence of her emotional reality. When you grasp this, you understand her in ways most men never will. You see the invisible threads connecting her thoughts to yours, the hidden tension between her desire and her caution, the profound emotional impact your absence leaves behind. And finally, you realize this. Even when you're not there, she is never truly detached. Every feeling, every thought, every subtle behavior is a testament to the depth of her connection with you. Understanding that transforms not only how you perceive her, it transforms how you value what you bring to her life. In her mind and heart, absence is never empty. It is charged with meaning, longing, and an unspoken truth. She notices, she remembers, and she misses you far more than you could ever imagine.